Kakbushundi arrived under the banyan tree, mentally invoked Sri Ram, and then began his tale. When Ravan returned to his palace after meeting Angad, the extremely distressed Mandodari tried to reason with him yet again. She pointed out how Hanuman and Angad had been able to create so much havoc and Ravan had not been able to do anything. How would he then be able to handle their master? She reminded Ravan how during one Swayamvara of Sita, he had been an aspiring suitor but had failed to break Lord Shiva's bow. But Ram had been able to do it. She urged him to consider how Shurpanakha had been mutilated, how Khara, Dushan and Trishira, together with their whole army, had been trounced by Ram single-handedly. Hanuman and Angad had each killed one of Ravan's sons. But Mandodari's words were like water off a duck's back. Ravan paid no heed to his wise and loving queen, and Mandodari understood that Ravan's end was near, because he had lost the ability to reason and to think clearly. Then Kakbushundi paused for a moment. Just think, he said. Both Ram and Ravan were great. But what was the difference in their greatness? The audience was quick to respond. We all love to name our sons Ram, but we never name our children Ravan, chirped the merry Maina. Ravan always belittled others while bragging about himself. Ram, on the other hand, made all the bears and monkeys, Jatayu and others, into great heroes, said the ponderous peacock. Kakbushundi looked immensely pleased. He could not have hoped for a more enlightened audience. Then coming back to the story, he said, Sri Ram's forces now began to make battle plans. There were 4 entry points to Lanka. The army was split into 4 groups, and it was decided that they would attack the 4 gates simultaneously. Ravan's army also got ready for battle. The bears and monkeys let out battle cries and loudly began to cheer. On the other side, Ravan's army marched to the sound of martial music, played to boost the morale of the Rakshasa soldiers. From the ramparts, the Rakshasas rained down arrows and huge rocks on the monkeys. But the monkeys would catch these and fling them right back at the Rakshasas. The women and children of Lanka wept as the battle raged day after day. On some days the Rakshasas did well, and on other days the monkey army had the upper hand. The Rakshasas were more powerful at night, and they used all kinds of illusory tricks. But the monkeys had Ram on their side. The heroes in the monkey army were Angad, Hanuman, Nala, Neela, Dvivida and Balvanta. They would fling all the dead Rakshasas to the feet of Ram. Vibhishan would identify them, and then Ram would send them to his own abode. That is because they remembered the Lord while dying, even though it was with ill feeling. It is said that if one remembers Bhagwan at the time of death, whether it is with desire, enmity, hatred, jealousy, or any other sentiment, he will bless the individual with the highest bliss. But, said Kakbushundi forcefully, we all should only remember Bhagwan with love. Slowly the Rakshasa army began to dwindle as more and more leading Rakshasas were decimated. Then Ravan's favourite son Meghnad joined the fray. Aiming a deadly weapon at Lakshman's chest, he knocked him out. But Hanuman, who had earlier been paraded around Lanka, remembered where the clinic of Sushen, the famous physician of Lanka, was located. Hurrying there, he lifted the physician along with his whole dispensary and brought him to where Ram was. Sushen announced that Lakshman's life would only be saved if he was treated with the Sanjeevani herb before daybreak. But that herb was found only in the far north, on the mountain known as Dronachal. It was already dusk, and they were far away in the south. Hanuman announced that he would go, and he promptly set off. Despite obstacles and delays on his path, he was able to reach Dronachal, but he was unable to identify the herb. So he just plucked off the peak of the mountain and took off with it. Meanwhile, Ram was seated with Lakshman's head in his lap. The monkeys were distraught and kept looking upwards. Daybreak was not far off, and they were most anxious. Suddenly, they saw Hanuman approaching with a mountain peak. The physician Sushen was present, and he quickly plucked the Sanjeevani herb and administered it to the patient. Lakshman sat up immediately, much to the joy and relief of Ram and the others. He was ready to fight again. Ravan was now beginning to feel alarmed, and he decided to send his brother Kumbhakaran to face Ram's army. Kumbhakaran was in the habit of sleeping for 6 months, and waking him up was an extremely challenging task. No matter how many drums were beaten before him and how many elephants were made to walk all over him, he would merely turn over and continue sleeping. Finally, they managed to rouse him. He was then fortified with the flesh of several buffaloes and barrels of wine before being sent off to battle. Before the battle, Vibhishan met Kumbhakara on the battlefield and was surprised by the affection and support that he received from Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna declared that Vibhishan was the ornament of their lineage and that he should always worship Sri Ram. This means that Kumbhakarna was faithful to his brother Ravan and fought for him, but he knew the glory of Sri Ram in his heart and also understood that Ravan was in the wrong. Kumbhakarna put up a valiant fight, but even he was finally killed by Ram. As he crashed to the ground, a light emerged from his body and disappeared into Sri Ram's mouth. Next, Indrajit, Ravan's favourite son, came on the battlefield. He was killed by Lakshman after a lengthy face-off. Despite all these continuous setbacks, Ravan refused to surrender. Finally, he himself entered the battlefield in his chariot that flew as fast as the wind. He was accompanied by his fourfold army of elephants, horses, chariots, and foot soldiers. But at this point, Kakbhushundi brought the day's storytelling session to a close. Night was falling, and the story of the final battle would have to wait for the next session. The birds bowed down to Kakbhushundi and flew off for the night.